Get out of Shell 1. According to Ames, the President is on the first floor of Shell 2's core. Cross the connecting bridge from the north side of Strut D to get to Shell 2. That's where you need to go. Once you're spotted, Raiden, you cannot afford to relax even after throwing off the pursuit. The enemy will ramp up its security precautions to hunt out the intruder, you. Patrols may be increased as well. Exercise extreme caution. Raiden, covertness is the keystone of sneaking missions. It's unwise to leave any trace of your presence, so I suggest you leave those things intact.
Jack, is that you? Talk to you soon, Jack.
Raiden, can you hear me?
Pliskin, where have you been?
Checking around. I'm in Strut H right now. How's the situation over there?
We have a lead on the President's location.
Where is he?
Shell 2 core, the first floor.
I'm cut off from the core where I am. It's a mess here.
All right, I'm on my way to Shell 2 right now.
There are IR sensors in place on the connecting bridge between Shells 1 and 2. If you break the beams, the Semtex will go off.
Yeah, I heard them talking about that.
Target the control units and destroy them. Make sure you don't shoot the Semtex.
What do the control units look like?
Take a look with your binoculars.
That's the Semtex. And that must be the control unit.
Raiden, what you see there is a booby trap consisting of an infrared sensor and Semtex. The Semtex will detonate if the IR beam from the sensor is disturbed. Whatever you do, don't touch the IR beam. But there's no way to get through there without crossing the beam. Neutralize all the control units for the IR sensor. Those control units and the distance are obviously out of handgun range.
What do I do then?
Use the sniper rifle to take them out. Use the PSG-1 sniper rifle to shoot out control units that are farther away. The PSG-1's controls have been slightly modified from what you learned in the VR training. Note the differences. The PSG-1 scope is equipped with a zoom function. Zoom in for a precise strike, and zoom out when you need a wider field of view. Learn to make good use of the function. The PSG-1 can be aimed from upright, crouch, and prone positions. The different heights of these stances will help you get a bead on targets concealed behind objects. Remember, shoot from a stable position to prevent shakes. The IR sensor cannot be taken offline until all the control units are destroyed. If the sensor is still live, it means there are control units you haven't touched somewhere. Raiden, the Semtex, is equipped with shock sensors. Any blow to the Semtex, gunfire included, will set off the sensor and start a chain reaction that will detonate all the bombs. We'll be finished if that were to happen. Aim only for the control units. Take out the control unit on the sensor. You should be able to see a unit with a blinking green light next to the explosives. That's the control unit. With the control unit destroyed, the IR sensor will cease to function. Shoot out the control unit. The tranquilizer gun won't do the job. Not all control units are in a highly visible spot. Use the first-person view to take a good look. Push the R2 and L2 buttons simultaneously in first-person view to stretch up on your toes. You can also crouch down and crawl by using the crawl button. Change your vantage point and conduct a thorough search. Use your skills and you should be able to deal with control units in hard-to-reach spots. Raiden, you haven't destroyed all the control units yet. Use the first-person view or the sniper scope to look around. Take out the control unit on the sensor. You should be able to see a unit.
Don't try to shoot out control units with a handgun when the distance is too great. The weapon doesn't have that kind of range. Use the sniper rifle. Use the PSG-1 to take out those control units. If some pipe or a storage tank gets between you and the control unit, find another vantage point. There will always be a spot that gives you a clear shot. The stuff used in that trap is Semtex. It's a plastic explosive like C4. Developed in former Czechoslovakia, the stuff was called the terrorist C4 back in the Cold War days. Made from RDX and PETN, Semtex is easy to handle and very powerful. The stuff can devastate an area. Whatever you do, don't get caught in its explosion. If some pipe or a storage tank gets between you and the control unit, find another vantage point. There will always be a spot that gives you a clear shot. If some pipe or... If some pipe...
What's up, Jack? See ya.
In order to get to Shell 2, you'll have... In order to get... In order to...
Raiden, you haven't destroyed all the control units yet. Use the first-person view or the sniper scope to look around.
Raiden, you didn't get all the control units. You weren't thorough enough. Take a good look at the airborne cipher. You can see the control unit for the IR sensor. The control unit is right above Cypher's camera. Avoid shooting the camera at all costs. Looks like if a Cypher is shot down, the resulting signal will trigger an explosion. The whole bridge would blow. Target only the control unit on the upper part of the Cypher. Aim for the blinking light.
Definitely.
Raiden, are you all right? Answer me! Raiden! Raiden, I found us a ride.
I'm all ears.
One of the enemy's Kasatkas.
Is it in good shape?
Full tank. I'm heading for Shell 1 now. What about that Harrier?
It's not on the heliport here.
Good. I'll set this one down there then.
Can you cover the hostages? They're being held on level B1 in the core. Pliskin, you didn't happen to find any other places where hostages were being held, did you?
No, nothing like that.
Okay.
How many hostages are there?
There's a few short of 30. One dead and several wounded.
The Kasatka's cargo area will hold 13 max.
What about the other Kasatka?
I sabotaged it. It can't come after us if it can't get off the ground. We'll have to make 2 trips.
Can you fly a Kasatka?
I have a pilot who's flown the civilian model, the KA-62 in VR. There's not a whole lot of difference between the military KA-60 and the civilian model.
Cleared for takeoff.
Raiden, let me introduce you to my partner, Otacon.
Otacon?
Hey, Raiden. Nice to meet you.
Intruders! Over here!
Damn! Raiden, I'll talk to you later.
Colonel, I need some answers from you. Who exactly is Pliskin and his partner?
I know what you're thinking.
It keeps coming back to Shadow Moses. And now this Otacon.
AKA Hal Emmerich, PhD, a Shadow Moses survivor.
Rose?
Snake and Otacon both became fugitives after Shadow Moses, wanted for acts of terrorism.
An anti-Metal Gear organization.
They sabotaged and destroyed countless Metal Gear units throughout the world.
And were responsible for the incident 2 years ago that necessitated the construction of the Big Shell.
Snake and his partner aren't terrorists.
Jack, why are you defending them?
I look back on what I've done here so far, and things like training and sense of duty alone won't get you through a sneaking mission like this.
Jack, are you okay?
You need something higher. I can't think of the right word, but it has to be pure will, backed up by courage or ideals or something like that. I'd stake my life on it. The solid snake that saved Shadow Moses couldn't turn into a terrorist.
Maybe that's true, but they went down with that tanker 2 years ago. We even recovered Snake's body.
And the DNA test results on the body say it's him.
Jack, I know what you're saying, but Snake is dead. He can't be here, not even as this Dr. Hal Emmerich.
But that also means that he can't be the terrorist leader behind this thing.
I've been waiting for you. A messenger from the Patriots. Where do I know him from?
So you're the boss around here?
No, not just around here. I'm the boss to surpass Big Boss himself. Solid Snake.
No! That is not Solid Snake!
What a pleasant surprise, brother.
Save it. You brother of mine.
Don't say you've forgotten me, Snake.
Snake?
Right, take cover! Stop impersonating him!
Brother, I'm a whole different game from Liquid. the best you can do, Snake?
Did I get it? We're in trouble. It's the Harrier.
The world needs only one big boss! I'll drown you fools for interfering!
Right. This is the Stinger missile launcher. The Kasaka can't stand up to the Harrier. You have to shoot the Harrier down.
Snake, we got company.
I'm counting on you.
Right. Handguns and machine guns can't stand up to fighter jets. Use the Stinger missiles instead. Don't panic, even if you lose sight of the Harrier. Look at your radar. The radar has been modified to show where the Harrier is. Use the radar and locate the Harrier's position. Don't start scurrying about even after the Harrier has flown away and is no longer in eyesight. When the Harrier is pointed in your direction, it should flash for a moment as it reflects the sun. Don't miss that flash. Locate it as early as possible and hit it with a Stinger. If you delay, you'll be attacked. Both wings are outfitted with an air-to-surface rocket pod. The rockets aren't guided, so moving should get you out of their way. Watch out for the blast, though. That Harrier 2 is equipped with cluster bombs. Each bomb is full of bombers, a combined munitions weapon. A cluster bomb has a huge effective range. There's no way to avoid one on the upper level of a connecting bridge. Escape by going to the lower level. The Harrier's exhaust is extremely hot. You cannot afford to get enveloped in it. When the Harrier draws near, run down to the lower level. The Harrier is outfitted with IR flares, a countermeasure that burns in midair with magnesium to deceive infrared homing missiles. Shooting a flare will draw any launched Stinger missiles towards the flare. Harriers are equipped with advanced medium-range air-to-air missiles, commonly known as AMRAAM. This is a type of active homing missile that uses a built-in radar guidance system for a fire-and-forget capability. The accuracy rate is quite high. Electronic interference is probably the only way to evade it. Use the chaff to disrupt the missile's guidance system. When the Harrier is hovering near the connecting bridge, the RGB-6 should also be effective. Right. Handguns at...
Right. I'll back you up from the chopper. If I see you run short of an item, I'll toss it down. Make good use of those. Right. You've got those stingers I gave you earlier, right?
Portable anti-aircraft missiles? I had complete VR training in those too.
Gee, I feel so much better knowing that. Hopefully you'll know how to use them in actual battle conditions too. Shoot the Harrier down with your Stinger missile, but remember that while you're aiming the missile launcher, you won't be able to move around. As soon as you see the Harrier headed your way, find cover. Hit the weapon menu button to do a weapon quick change. Make use of it.
The Harrier II is an upgraded version of the world's first practical V-stall fighter plane. By shifting the propulsion of the engine nozzles on the sides, the plane can handle short-distance vertical takeoffs and landings. The payload capacity of the Harrier II is considerably larger than its predecessor due to improved engine output. As a result, it carries more armament, starting with a 25mm machine gun pod on the fuselage pylon. There are air-to-surface rockets on both wings and various pods for air-to-air missiles and cluster bombs. You won't be able to take out one of these with small arms fire. The fact is, you'll need to use Stinger missiles. Raiden, watch out for the Harrier's cluster bombs. Cluster bombs are non-guided units packed with a couple hundred bomblets for wide-range attacks. The bombs are equipped with timed fuses for detonation following release. The dispenser explodes, spreading the bomblets across a wide area. Cluster bombs cover an extensive range. If you see one being launched, head for the floor beneath the connecting bridge. The Harrier II is equipped with AMRAAM mid-range air-to-air missiles. The AMRAAM is an active homing missile designed to succeed the Sparrow. On the final phase of its guided approach to a target, the missile locks onto the objective with an active seeker and goes into full autonomous flight mode. In short, the AMRAAM is a missile with fire and forget capability. This aspect of the missile makes it ideal for fire and run tactics, significantly improving the mission survival rate of the firing aircraft. With a high-performance active seeker, the AMRAAM is extremely functional. Once fired, it pretty much zeroes in on its target with deadly accuracy.
And how do you avoid one of these?
I recommend chaff grenades. The AMRAAM's been reinforced against ECMs. In fact, the missile's been designed to home in on the source of electronic countermeasures. But that only applies to air combat. It's highly unlikely that the missile's equipped for tracking human targets with any precision. You should be able to sufficiently throw an AMRAAM off course with a chaff grenade. The minute you see one launched, break out the grenade. The Harrier II comes equipped with air-to-surface rocket pods on both wings. The Harrier II rockets are not guided. You can avoid direct hits by moving away from the targeted area following a launch, but watch out for the blast. We're currently aboard a Ka-60 Kasaka helicopter, a multi-purpose military aircraft of the Russian Kamov Design Bureau. This copter is capable of handling various missions, including troop and supply transport, medical evacuation, target acquisition for attack copters, and all-weather scouting. Equip it with the latest avionics and electronic equipment, and the Kasaka can handle communication and electronic jamming, as well as other special operations. The copter's designed for survival in combat, and the main systems are expandable. The rotors are capable of functioning if they've been punctured. In addition, the Kasaka features a polyurethane-filled fuel tank to minimize the danger of explosion. However, the Kasaka cannot hold its own against the Harrier. It's only suitable for providing you with air support. What I'm trying to say is that it's up to you to take out the Harrier.
Right. I'll back you up from the chopper. If I see you run short of an item, I'll toss it down. That's right.
Jack, tell me you're all right. give up.
Use this!
Tougher than I thought! I'll let you go out in style! What the? Take this! Right, I'll take care of it. Damn!
There's something coming up!
That's Metal Gear! It's already active!
water. Raiden, you all right?
Yeah. How about you guys?
Barely managed, but we're all right.
The chopper?
We need some time for repairs.
Oh.
The president's all yours.
Okay. Can I ask you something?
What?
Are you the Snake? They said you were dead.
No, not me. There are still too many things I need to do.
Snake, you're a legend, and that's why I need to ask you this.
Legend? A legend is nothing but fiction. Someone tells it, someone else remembers. Everybody passes it on.
I'm here because I was assigned to this mission, not because I want to. If I could, I'd be out of here in a second. How could you come back to all this? Why keep fighting?
There's something my best friend said to me once.
What?
We're not tools of the government or anyone else. Fighting was the only thing I was good at, but at least I always fought for what I believed in.
What about the DNA results from that body?
That was Liquid's body. He and Snake are identical on the genetic level.
Liquid?
A deception, for our own protection. We stole his frozen body from some organization. Kind of a hassle, though.
That's all there is to it.
Are you two really an NGO?
Insofar as we're a non-profit organization of civilians advocating a cause, yes. The cause happens to be the eradication of Metal Gear.
We work on our own, but it's a cause worth fighting for.
Why would you stick your neck out for something this risky?
That's the way I used to look at it, 4 years ago. I was holed up in the middle of nowhere in Alaska, drinking too much.
We have a responsibility to the coming generations, to the world.
What responsibility?
To keep track of the mistakes we've made as a species.
We need to remember, to spread the word, to fight for change. And that's what keeps me alive.
You think you can change the future?
Nah, I'm not as arrogant as that.
What you do isn't grassroots activism. It's more like terrorism.
I admit that.
But our group, Philanthropy, received some information. A new Metal Gear prototype was being developed here, and terrorists were planning to raid the facility. The information came from a very reliable source.
So you're here to...
We're here to stop all that. But I also have a personal motive.
Looks like the terrorists have his sister in the big shell. We're here on our own, not under anyone's orders. We have our own battles. Otacon's here for someone. I'm not.
This is a military mission.
Jack, are you all right?
Just barely.
You almost gave me a heart attack.
Sorry, it wasn't intentional.
I know that, and I know I need to stay stronger.
Say a prayer for me, Rose, so I can come back.
You will make it back. I'm with you all the way, remember.
That means a lot to me, you know.
I'm going to save the data, okay, Jack?
Colonel, Metal Gear's already gone active.
It's not too late. You can still prevent a nuclear strike by securing the president and preventing password confirmation from taking place. Get to the president. He's in the core section of Shell 2.
I'm checking the satellite images. Looks like you can get to the core from the other side of Strut L.
The core hasn't gone under yet from what we can tell. Follow the railings down, then jump onto the pipes.
The only viable strut in the outer perimeter is the L. That attack just now doesn't make any sense. It's like they have no more use for this place.
Colonel, you were monitoring the codec calls. That man was the real Snake all along.
Maybe.
Maybe?
Don't let your guard down with him.
Why do you say that?
Because they were never a part of the simulation. They're an unknown factor.
You can take your simulation and... We're out here, we bleed, we die.
Calm down.
I suggest that you do, Raiden. Even if that is Snake, that has no bearing on your mission.
Colonel, you and Snake used to be on the same side. I don't understand. I read about you and Snake in the darkness of Shadow Moses.
I don't give a damn what that piece of trash said. Do you get me? When you're hanging, get to the spot above the pipe, then jump down. Push the crawl button to go straight down.
Don't forget to switch to first-person view to check whether there's a good landing spot.
The enemy has already entered the nuclear launch code. Secure the President before they can confirm and finalize the code input. The President is on the first floor of Shell 2's core. This is the way to Shell 2's core section, where the President is. First, cross the connecting bridge between the two shells. You'll arrive on strut G. Proceed along the catwalk, circling the outside of strut G until you get to the LG connecting bridge. Cross the LG connecting bridge to strut L. Then take the exterior catwalk to the KL connecting bridge. You can enter the core of Shell 2 midway from the KL connecting bridge. The President is being held on the first floor. Go! Raiden, you're currently on the connecting bridge between Shell 1 and Shell 2. Go north to reach strut G of Shell 2.
But the bridge is a mess from their attack.
It's still a way through. Don't let the place get to you, Jack.
Use the first-person view to study your surroundings. Look for sections that can still support your weight. If you use hanging and rolls, you should be able to pick your way across.
Colonel, the radar's not working.
With Shell 2 in this shape, I wouldn't count on the radar coming back online for a while.
It'll be all right. Hang in there, Jack.
With the radar offline, you'll have to rely on first-person view to check for enemy presence. Proceed with extreme caution.
Colonel, Pliskin was Snake after all.
According to him.
What?
Listen, Raiden, I'll say it again. He is not in the simulation.
There you go about the simulation again.
Don't put your faith in him. Don't trust him. Do you understand? Approach the enemy undetected and train your gun on him before he can react. This is how you can hold someone up. Once the enemy raises both his hands, he won't put up any resistance. How you proceed after that is up to you. Whenever you crawl into a narrow space, the camera will automatically switch to intrusion view.
Not a chance.
Push the crawl button while hanging to jump straight down.
Get real.
Raiden, you cover the President. Make contact with him before the confirmation of the nuclear launch code. We're going to start repairs on the Kamov. That should keep our hands full for a while. I did a round of Shell 2 during bomb disposal. Let me know if you have any questions.
Have you ever heard of Outer Heaven?
Outer Heaven?
Yeah. Know anything?
No. What about it?
The terrorist leader mentioned it. Something about being close to reviving Outer Heaven.
Is that right?
Well, do you know anything?
No. But whatever their goal is, they're probably up to no good. We've got to stop them.
Yeah, right.
You know, I thought I heard of AIM somewhere before. DIA would mean we're talking about Nastasha's ex-husband.
Nastasha? Nastasha Romanenko? Isn't she the one who wrote In the Darkness of Shadow Moses?
Yeah, she helped me out during the Shadow Moses incident. She was also actively involved in the philanthropy organization following the incident.
Where is she now?
Your guess is as good as mine, but she's probably still a heavy smoker.
So Iroquois Pliskin was an alias.
Of course.
And the rank of Lieutenant Junior grade?
Made it up.
That's just great. Anyway, I get the Pliskin part, but what about Iroquois?
Iroquois is a Frankified version of the Algonquin word for rattlesnakes. It's what they called their enemies.
Algonquin?
The Algonquin Nation, one of the many groups of Native Americans who used to call Manhattan Island their home. The majority of tribes, in what's now the state of New York, were a part of the Algonquin Nation.
So this was a stronghold of snakes.
By the way, Manhattan means Island of Hills in Algonquin. Without the balaclava, you won't be able to disguise yourself as an enemy soldier anymore. But aside from the balaclava, you've got the exact same gear as they have, including those boots. Select the enemy field uniform in spots where you have to leave footprints. It'll keep them from spotting your presence. If you shoot those pipes along the ceiling or the floor, jets of steam will escape. Raiden, a full life gauge will slow down the consumption of the grip gauge. Raiden, a full I see you've managed to get a hold of some C4 plastic explosive. Composed of 91% RDX and 9% inert plasticizers, it's a white clay-like material. It's a very stable explosive with over 1.3 times the power of TNT. Immune to heat or shock, C4 will only explode when triggered by a detonator. Since your wireless detonator is equipped with both a scrambler and encryption, you don't have to worry about the C4 being accidentally triggered by other wavelengths such as those emitted by jamming devices. You set the C4 with the weapon button and detonate it with the punch button. One other thing, don't get caught in its blast. Raiden, a full life gauge will slow down the consumption of the grip gauge. Raiden, you cover the president. Make... The directional microphone is a very sensitive piece of equipment that picks up the slightest sound. It's a high-precision mic that's been designed to pick up sounds in front of it. In short, it will pick up sounds in the direction you point it. The microphone comes equipped with a miniature amplifier that will pick up a heartbeat if it's pointed properly at a living target. Raiden, you cover the president. You've got an RGB-6, a Croatian-manufactured 40mm 6-round grenade launcher. It's a weapon that was unavailable in VR training. The RGB-6 has a spring-driven revolver-type cylinder for handling 6 grenades. It delivers grenades with greater accuracy than throwing the things, and it's effective for taking out enemies with body armor, not to mention those hiding behind objects. Since a launched grenade travels on a parabolic trajectory, hitting a target depends on your angle of fire. After you take someone out, shake them by pushing the weapon button. An item box may appear. Try it if you have time. Raiden, you cover the president. The Stinger is a portable surface-to-air missile launcher. Once you lock onto a target and fire, the missile will automatically pursue the target using its infrared seeker. However, the Stinger you have hasn't been updated to deal with countermeasures. The missile's seeker might be thrown off course by flares. Don't forget that. Raiden, you cover the president. Looks like you've got an M4. The M4 is an assault carbine favored by the US SOCOM. It's a descendant of the M1 carbine used in World War II. The 4 refers to the fact that it's the 4th carbine to be officially adopted by the American military. Basically, it was developed for the Special Forces using the M16A as a base. The M4 carries 30 rounds of 5.56mm by 45 SS-109s. By the way, carbines are short-barreled rifles originally developed for cavalry use, but as far as you're concerned, you won't need to remember that. Raiden. The PSG-1 is an anti-terrorist automated sniper rifle. It features roller-locked action which allows a full, free-floating barrel. The end result is an automatic rifle with precision equal to that of a bolt-action sniper rifle. The rifle has a 5-round group capacity of 50mm at a range of approximately 270 meters. In my opinion, the PSG-1 is one of the finest sniper rifles in the world. Although you've probably fired a few rounds in VR training, there are a few differences in handling the rifle you should be aware of. First, that the PSG-1 is equipped with a special magnification adjustable scope. For precision shooting, it allows you to zoom in on your target, and for wide-range viewing, all you have to do is zoom out. Another difference is that you aren't limited to firing from the prone position. In short, you can fire from a crouching or standing position. However, the less stable your position, the tougher it is to hold your aim steady. For accuracy, the best thing to do is crawl up to your target and fire from a prone position. Raiden, you cover the president. The PSG-1T that you have there is a PSG-1 with a modified barrel for firing tranquilizer rounds. It handles like a PSG-1. The only difference is that it spares lives. It's up to you whether you want to use it or not.
What's up, Jack? Talk to you soon, Jack.
Raiden, what's going on? Raiden! Raiden!
This is not a pretty sight. Hurry up and check the situation. going to go in my pants? Nobody's looking, right?
The enemy has already entered the nuclear launch code. Raiden, you're currently on Strut L. Move north along its exterior to get to the KL connecting bridge.
You'll be able to get to the core of Shell 2 from the center of the KL connecting bridge. The president is being held in the core.
Colonel, the radar's not working. Colonel, Pliskin was Snake after all.
An item box. Handguns and...
Raiden, you cover the president.
Have you ever heard of Outer Heaven?
You know, I thought I heard of AIM somewhere before.
So Iroquois Pliskin was an alias.
Without the balaclava, you won't... Bulletproof equipment. When you swing up, if you shoot those...
What can I do for you, Jack? Hang in there.
Olga, Snake, he's here. In Shell 1.
My father had some unfinished business with him.
Olga, calm yourself. We will not change the plan because of your personal feelings.
Then screw your plan. I've been waiting for this day for 2 years, and I will send him to the bottom of the ocean, right next to my old man.
The launch comes first.
Damn it. Where's Ocelot?
Not here.
I don't trust him.
Don't talk that way about one of your own.
He's not one of my own. He left my father to die, remember?
Olga, we'll talk later. We need to get started on the final checks for the unit.
All right. I'm headed back there.
The upper connecting bridge to Shell 1 is down.
What about the chopper?
The cam-off is out of action. Take the oil fence from Strut L.
I'll tell my men to start pulling out.
Not yet. Their retrieval comes last. The intruder's still at large.
Snake.
What about the other man?
He's got luck on his side, certainly.
He survived that explosion. Listen, Olga, the code confirmation is in 1 hour. Keep the president alive until then.
I know. No one gets in here. Turn the currents on.
High voltage currents on.
The door stays shut unless the president manages to take out that circuit panel from inside the room. And it's no job for bare hands.
All right. Come back immediately.
One more thing.
What?
We leave for Russia when this business is done. I want half the money for that.
Of course. That was part of the agreement.
We start living for ourselves after this. If there's anyone who wants to stay here, I want you to take good care of them.
Gladly. Gerlukovich soldiers are the cream of the crop.
It's time they went free.
What happened to rebuilding Mother Russia?
The old man is dead. The world is a different place now.
It's your life.
Just as a reminder, I'm going to say this again, one last time. Don't try anything on us.
The feeling is mutual.
I'm in front of the room where they're keeping the president.
Everything all right?
No sign of flooding, but I can't get close to the door. The floor is electrified.
Don't test it. You'll be bacon.
Any suggestions?
Remember the Shadow Moses VR training.
Take out the circuit panel?
Right.
But there's no way into the room.
Try ventilation ducts.
Yeah, I think I see one.
Look for a remote control missile launcher. You can guide it through the duct into the room.
Then target the circuit panel. Got it.
Right, but make sure you don't hit the president.
The president is wired with nanomachines. If we know the frequency, I can raise him.
We've tried that repeatedly, but there's no response. It looks like the walls have a built-in radio shield.
So that's why Ames lost contact with him.
If you need to confirm his position, you can log into the node.
Understood.
Locate a remote control missile launcher first.
Who's there? Knock it off.
The only way to the president is past this electrified floor. Use the remote-controlled missile to destroy the power source. That will cut off the high-voltage current to the floor. Locate a remote-controlled missile.
Snake might know where to find them. He did sweep Shell 2 for C4s earlier. The Shell 2 core is where the actual filtration system resides, or at least it used to. Now it's just a shadow of its former self. Here, water mixed with crude oil was filtered using antagonist bacteria in the microbial decomposition of hydrocarbons. Below the first floor basement is a gigantic vat for this purpose. What happened was that this vat broke and flooded the floor. The first floor, which is not flooded, houses the air purification facility that eliminates the stench from the polluted water. Manhattan is right in our backyard here, you know. There's plenty of reason to be cautious.
Crawling also lets you move noiselessly. Consider both of these options. Select a weapon and switch to first-person view with the R1 button. You can now execute a first-person view attack with the weapon button. Once you're spotted, Raiden, you cannot afford to relax even after throwing off the pursuit. The enemy will ramp up its security precautions to hunt out the intruder, you. Patrols may be increased as well. Exercise extreme caution. Even the enemies will have a harder time spotting you in the dark. The chance of being unnoticed is higher if you stay in darker areas. The punch is the basis of hand-to-hand combat. If you take an enemy out without being spotted,
Not a chance. Snake, do you know where I can find some remote-controlled missiles?
Remote-controlled missiles. I saw something on B1 in the core of Shell 2. But be careful. Contaminated seawater's broken out of the tanks thanks to that explosion. Most of B1 is probably flooded by now. Running out of ammunition in the middle of a firefight can be embarrassing. The consumption of the O2 gauge will also be slower with a full life gauge. Make good use of those rations. If you hold down the L1 button, you can move while holding your gun. Should be an effective move when you need to break through some enemies. Don't forget it, kid.
What's up, Jack? See ya.
The only way to the President is past this electrified floor. Use the remote-controlled missile to destroy the power source. You will be able to move left and right while hanging. Do you have any spent handgun or rifle magazines? Push the crawl button while running to go into a roll.
Not a chance.
Remote-controlled missiles. You can hide behind certain objects by crouching low. By setting C4 explosives within close proximity of each other, you can set off a chain of explosions with a single blast. Do it right, and you can set up some very effective traps. Think about what the ideal spot to aim for is, depending on time and circumstances.
All right. Colonel, B1 is completely flooded from what I can see.
You'll have to swim through.
I'm fine with swimming.
Stroke the water and move forward by pushing the punch button. Push it in rapid succession to swim faster. Change your heading with the left stick. Up will take you up, down takes you lower, left and right to face those directions. The O2 gauge will appear under your life gauge while you're underwater. The gauge corresponds to the amount of air you can hold from a single deep breath. Once the O2 gauge falls to 0, the life gauge will start to drop. You need to be aware of that. Raiden, make sure the remote-controlled missile doesn't injure the President. You want to take out only the power source. If you shoot out the radio behind the enemy's right hip, you can prevent him from calling in reinforcement.
Not a chance.
Approach the enemy undetected and train your gun on him before he can react.
Get real.
Keep an eye on how long a shadow you're casting. Lean the left stick only very slightly to slow your walk.
Not a chance.
You've got yourself a remote-controlled missile. Referred to as Nikita, it's a wireless guided projectile. It's a surveillance missile based on micro-air vehicle technology. You control it by watching the image transmitted from the CCD camera mounted on the missile. Although it's primarily designed for scouting missions, it carries a small explosive charge that allows a long-distance attack. You can also trigger the charge by removing it from equipped status following the missile's launch. You won't be able to move while controlling the missile. Also, you'll have to be careful that you don't run out of fuel while it's in flight. Unlike VR training, you won't have a bird's eye view to help you control the missile. Those night vision goggles will let you see in the dark. The goggles are equipped with an image intensifier that amplifies even the lowest levels of light to produce clear images. Night vision devices were introduced in the 1940s. Since then, they've undergone several modifications to improve both sensitivity and resolution. Incidentally, the set you're using is a 4th-generation model. The less you manipulate a remote-controlled missile, the faster it'll travel. Use this, and you'll be able to deliver your remote-controlled missile over a greater distance. Remember that the missile's range is limited by its fuel capacity. Always remember that unnecessary maneuvers can cost you fuel. If you hold down the L1 button, you can move while holding your gun. Should be an effective move when you need to break through some enemies. Don't forget it, kid.
What are you doing? Stop it!
President Johnson.
Huh? So you're finally here.
You've been expecting me?
Your equipment, that skull suit, isn't exactly standard military issue.
Are you all right, sir?
Is this some kind of sick joke? I thought you came to kill me.
What?
I'm prepared to face the consequences of my betrayal.
What are you... What the...
You're a man? Well, who are you?
Foxhound, sir.
Foxhound? I see. Now things are starting to make a little sense. Switch over to nano-communication so nobody can listen in.
Yes, sir. Do you read me, sir?
Yes.
Mr. President, it's my understanding that the terrorists have managed to input the code sequence necessary for launching a nuclear strike.
That's correct. I punched the sequence in myself.
You're working for them?
If you asked me 2 hours ago, my answer would have been yes. Right now, they're keeping me alive until my vital signs are reconfirmed.
They betrayed you?
I wouldn't quite put it that way. I wanted power. They sought destruction.
But why stoop to terrorism?
I wanted absolute power.
But you're the president. You have power.
No, I'm just a figurehead.
What?
I don't have any control. The real power is in the Patriots' hands.
The Patriots?
The truth behind this country. I'm not surprised you've never heard of them. Very few are aware of their existence, even among those with code word clearance.
Huh?
Politics, the military, the economy, they control it all. They even choose who becomes president. Putting it simply, the Patriots rule this country.
No.
Hard to believe, isn't it? But it's the truth. The space defense, income tax reduction, and national missile defense programs. Every policy that's been credited to me was actually done according to their instructions.
Space defense was initiated by Congress.
That's what the Patriots want the country to believe. It's all a show. Democracy is just a filler for textbooks. Think about it. Do you actually believe that public opinion influences the government?
No.
This country is shaped and controlled as the Patriots see fit. The people are shown what they want to believe. What you call government is actually a well-staged production aimed at satisfying the public.
Huh?
Don't look at me like that. I'm legally sane, you know.
It's not your sanity that worries me.
The Patriots. Even I don't know who the actual members are. Are they financial, political, or military leaders? No one knows who the Patriots really are. Even my instructions come from a cutout. All I've been told is that every key decision is made by a group of 12 men, known as the Wise Men's Committee.
Your office? The White House?
Merely puppets, pawns in a game. By pledging my loyalty, an insignificant son of a senator was awarded the presidency. Of course, that wasn't the only price I had to pay.
What do you mean?
Even if a pawn becomes a queen, it is still just a playing piece. I wanted to leave my own mark in history, but my ambitions were... You'll understand someday. I wished to be a member of the Patriots. I wanted to wield the power of a king instead of being an expendable pawn.
And that justifies acts of terrorism?
Yes. I'd intended to use the new Metal Gear as a bargaining chip.
Bargaining chip?
But I underestimated Solidus. He actually wants to challenge the Patriots, even if it means the destruction of the world.
What are you saying?
Whether you believe it or not, the balance of power rests in the hands of the Patriots. They regulate the country's various interests through controlled presentation, staging a drama that is palatable to the general masses. Can you imagine what would happen if they ceased to function? Picture a massive political vacuum, a space that every powermonger will try to fill for their own greedy ends. I'm talking about an unregulated power struggle, panic, civil war, chaos. Like it or not, the Patriots is an organization that must continue to exist.
So you changed your mind because you wanted to avoid global chaos.
Exactly. When I told Solidus that I wished to prevent disaster, he replied that pawns can never become players.
And who is this Solidus?
My predecessor, George Sears. That was the name the public came to know him by. I knew him by his code name, Solidus Snake. He was the third Snake, preceded by Solid and Liquid, a survivor of the Les Enfants Terribles project. Neither solid nor liquid, he was a well-balanced masterpiece that the Patriots saw fit to entrust with the presidency. However, he fell out of grace with the organization 4 years ago. When acting on his own, he started an incident.
4 years ago? Shadow Moses!
That's right. At the time, the DARPA chief, Donald Anderson, together with certain influential parties, initiated the development of Metal Gear Rex and an advanced nuclear warhead. However, this did not fall in line with the Patriots' plans. What's more, Solidus decided on his own to send his most trusted man, Ocelot, to provoke Liquid Snake, bringing about the said incident. As a result, he succeeded in obtaining Rex and the data on the warhead. But in doing so, he ended up revealing the existence of both Rex and the Genome Army, a blunder that earned him the wrath of the Patriots. Shortly thereafter, Solidus was removed from the presidential office.
I thought he resigned.
That's the story given to the general public. Following his resignation, the Patriots selected me, their new pawn, for the presidency.
But that would mean that the presidential race was...
That was quite a show, wasn't it? It was a well-scripted drama staged by the Patriots for the benefit of the public. Even the Democrats and Republicans were dancing to the Patriots' tune. Everything went according to plan, but for one exception. Following his resignation, Solidus' health was scheduled to fail him, bringing about his untimely death.
Capped?
Correct. But before the Patriots could execute their plot, Solidus went underground with the help of Ocelot. As he avoided pursuit, Solidus gained control of Dead Cell, winning over Colonel Golukovich's outfit. From there, he bided his time, knowing that his opportunity would soon arrive.
What opportunity?
The completion of the new Metal Gear project, an opportunity that would even his odds against the Patriots. By stealing the Patriots' most valued project, he would be able to place them in a very uncomfortable position. It's the only chance he has for survival. Once he has the new Metal Gear, he'll declare war against the Patriots. Needless to say, he must be stopped.
Metal Gear is already operational.
No, not yet. What you saw was Metal Gear Ray, hijacked 2 years ago from the Marines by Ocelot. That was not the new Metal Gear.
Then where's the new Metal Gear?
Right here.
What?
You're standing in it. To be more precise, this entire big shell facility is the new Metal Gear.
What'd you say?
No, I'm quite serious. The upper structure that you've seen is camouflage, designed to represent an offshore cleanup facility. The main structure extends from the foundation all the way down to the ocean floor. The connecting elevator is located on the B2 floor of the Shell 1 core. Arsenal Gear. That's the code name for the new Metal Gear.
Arsenal?
That's right. Arsenal. We're talking about an impregnable fortress carrying a load of over a couple of thousand missiles, including nuclear warheads, all protected by a horde of mass-produced Metal Gear Ray units.
Mass-produced?
The Ray unit was originally designed for the Marines to be used as a countermeasure against the Metal Gear variations throughout the world. The Patriots had Ray redesigned to protect the new Arsenal Gear.
So now anti-Metal Gears are guarding a Metal Gear.
Ironic, isn't it? That's not all. Arsenal Gear has full access to the military's tactical network, giving it the ability to exercise absolute control over our nation's armed forces, not to mention our nuclear armament. In short, Arsenal was created to be the core of our country.
What kind of idiotic weapon?
Weapon? No. You're not seeing the full picture. Arsenal Gear is more than just a military tool. It is a means to preserve the world as it is. It will establish a new form of control. The Patriots will use it to keep their place as the country's true rulers. Right now, they feel pressured and threatened.
By what?
They fear an overabundance of digital information. The world will drown in the coming flood of information, and they along with it. The Arsenal plans include a system to digitally manage the flow of information, making it possible to shape the truth for their own purposes. In short, the Arsenal system is the key to their supremacy.
The key?
Yes. The GW system is the Patriots' trump card. Arsenal Gear will be fully operational when GW is successfully integrated. Once operational, it will be a completely new form of power for the Patriots to wield. I had hoped to seize the project from them, so that I would be in a strong bargaining position.
Bargain for what?
I'd hoped to trade my way into their ranks, but Solidus preferred rebellion. Outer Heaven, his plan to unleash a nuclear blast over the skies of Wall Street to break the Patriots' control over the business community, is also a key factor in his offensive effort.
Outer Heaven?
Listen, there isn't much time. The football served as the key for activating Arsenal Gear. I've already input the necessary code sequence. It won't be long before GW begins to establish connections with other external systems, and Arsenal Gear becomes fully operational. Stop them before that happens. That is your role.
Role?
You've got to find Emma Emmerich. She's the only one who can stop that thing once it's been activated.
Emma Emmerich?
She's the system programmer for Arsenal Gear. I believe she's somewhere on level B1 in the core of this building.
I thought the levels below us were flooded.
I'm sure they won't let her die just yet, as she's the only remaining programmer for this project. According to Ocelot, she was being held in a locker room located in the northwest part of level B1. Cut transmission and get moving. This is card 4. It'll give you access all the way to Emma's location. Give this to her when you find her.
What is it?
A program for disrupting the control functions between GW and Arsenal Gear. Take Emma to the computer room on level B2, Shell 1 core. She'll know how to load the program into the main system.
A virus?
That's right, modeled after Foxdie, a biological weapon designed to selectively eliminate personnel with a specific genetic code.
But why do you have it?
The Patriots had it engineered as a failsafe, and Ocelot forgot to search me. You've got to hurry. That disk is the way you're going to stop Arsenal. Well, I've told you everything you need to know. There's only one thing that remains to be done. kill me.
What the?
There's no time to argue. The final check for my vital ID will start any second. If you kill me now, you'll at least prevent the nuclear strike.
Cut it out!
Do it! That's her role! Pull! No! Do it!
That's abusing your right to free speech, Mr. President. Or is it ex-president?
The president! Why did you...
Alas, my finger must have slipped. I'll see you around, carrier boy.
Forget him. He did us a favor. Without free will, there is no difference between submission and rebellion. My only real choice is to put an end to this charade. Let me at least have the freedom to end it myself.
What are you...
Find Emma. Stop Arsenal. This is my last order as your commander-in-chief. I'm counting on you.
Colonel, the president is dead.
I see. I'm sorry to hear that.
Where do we go from here?
Your mission was to rescue the president and eliminate the terrorist threat. However, given the recent turn of events, we will honor the president's last directive. You must put a stop to Arsenal gear once and for all.
Do you actually think there's any truth to his story about this big shell facility being a front for Arsenal gear?
I don't have the security clearance necessary to verify the facts. However, he was the president. I'm sure he knew what he was talking about.
Aren't you forgetting that he was part of the terrorist plot?
All the more reason why I believe his information is reliable.
Huh?
We're talking about a man who chose to die rather than risk a nuclear holocaust. Thanks to his sacrifice, the Nuclear Launch Authority has shifted to the vice president, effectively eliminating the terrorist threat.
Colonel, when you put it like that, it almost sounds like I should have assassinated the president to eliminate the threat.
That was not my intention. I was trying to point out that there is certainly some credibility to the words of a man who chose death to protect the innocent.
The Colonel has a point, Jack.
What about the information he gave me on the Patriots?
That's a new one on me. I'll see what I can find out. Raiden, we're running out of time. Find Emma. She's supposed to be located on level B1, in the core of that building you're in, right? You've got to find her before Arsenal becomes fully operational.
Hurry, Jack.
It's up to you to make sure that the president didn't sacrifice his life in vain.
Understood. Raiden out.
What's your status, Raiden?
Snake, the president, he's been assassinated.
What?
There was nothing I could do.
What about the nuclear strike code sequence?
He died before his vital ID could be reconfirmed.
Then the enemy's lost their nuclear strike capability.
But that Ocelot guy obviously killed the president on purpose.
Why?
It doesn't make any sense. They had to know that they couldn't launch the nuke if they killed the president.
Maybe there's a way to launch without reconfirming the vital ID.
Or maybe they found a more effective weapon within Arsenal gear.
You knew about Arsenal gear?
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me about it?
You never asked.
Am I correct in assuming you also know that the big shell's a front for the project?
You mean, did I know that the Big Shell, a fully functional environmental cleanup facility, was designed to camouflage Arsenal gear? Yeah, I did. It's exactly what the President and Ames described, a massive cover story. The good news is that it hasn't really done much in terms of cleaning up the environment, so we won't have to worry about any toxic gas being released if we have to blow the house down.
Right. And when did you find out about all of this?
It took a while, but we uncovered the info around the time you took out that mad bomber. There's no doubt that Arsenal gear is being built here. Then it was all set up 2 years ago, on that day. All of it.
2 years ago? What really happened here?
I took these photos 2 years ago.
I know these pictures. They were on the news on several websites. If I remember right, the reporters blamed you for sinking the tanker.
That's right. Otacon, me, we were used.
We'd hoped that by going public with photos of the new Metal Gear, we could persuade the government. At least that was the plan at the time.
I've gone through VR training of the tanker mission before.
Yeah? Well, I doubt it accurately simulates the events of that mission. I'd infiltrated the dummy tanker to obtain proof that a Metal Gear was under development. Shortly after I made it aboard, an armed group led by Colonel Gerlukovich raided the ship and gained control.
Olga and Ocelot were among the raiding party.
Yeah, and him.
Who are you talking about?
A man that was supposed to be dead.
Their target was also Metal Gear Ray. But Ocelot eliminated Colonel Gerlukovich and Marine Commander Scott Dolph, and he hijacked Ray.
So he betrayed them?
I don't know what kind of deal was going down. All I remember is what Ocelot said at the time. Something like, "I'm taking it back."
Ocelot then sank the tanker, along with the soldiers of the Marine Corps.
How did you manage to get out?
Otacon managed to have a small boat ready for me.
That was the easy part. The tough part was not getting dragged down with a sinking tanker. A small miracle when you think about it. It turned out that the whole thing was a setup to lure us. Photos of Snake, taken by the Cypher, were released to the public. In turn, we became the world's most wanted environmental terrorists.
It was definitely a move aimed at putting a stop to our anti-Metal Gear activities.
But why did they choose Snake?
Since the Shadow Moses incident, Snake became sort of a hero. I think the Patriots weren't too happy about that.
You knew about the Patriots?
Well, yes, to a certain degree.
It seems like everyone knows about them except me.
They didn't choose Snake to be a hero.
So they decided to do a smear campaign.
I think the Patriots wanted to make an example of him so everybody would think twice posing them.
That's it! They set all this up just to nail you guys.
No, there's more to it than that. The Marines' Metal Gear Ray project, headed by Commander Dolph, was carried out in opposition to the Navy's Arsenal Gear project. To be more precise, the Patriots considered Metal Gear Ray to be a thorn in their side. Hence, they attacked the dummy tanker and stole Ray. They followed this up with a perfect plan. They immediately sent a fully loaded tanker to the same location and sank it. Then set up the facility to camouflage the development of Arsenal Gear.
And we fell for it. 2 more puppets in their show.
Colonel Gerlukovich and his daughter Olga?
Both fell victim to Ocelot's plot.
Was Solidus behind all this? He used Ocelot to get hold of Ray, huh?
No, he was underground, keeping a low profile at the time.
Then it must be the Patriots.
If that's the case, what's Ocelot doing alongside Solidus?
Forget it. We're wasting time. We can figure this out later. The nuclear strike's been prevented, but Arsenal still has a massive payload of missiles to deal with.
Right. If the opposition gets control of those missiles.
Raiden, you've got to find Emma.
Wait a second. Isn't Emma Emmerich?
My sister.
What's she doing here?
You got me. She's a computer whiz who specializes in neural AI and ultra-variable volume data analysis using complex logic. How she got involved in weapons development is beyond me.
Whatever her reasons, we need her in order to stop Arsenal.
Raiden, find her.
I'm on my way.
Raiden, locate Emma Emmerich and have her put the President's disc to use. Emma is on B1 of the Shell 2 core. The clock is ticking. Locate her before Arsenal Gear goes online.
Colonel, I want some background information on Emma Emmerich.
I've got it right here. direct from the National Security Agency's personnel files. Apparently, she was involved in some sort of high-level project, but there's no details on that. Her record shows that she resigned from the agency 2 years ago. Emma Emmerich, full name Emma Emmerich Danziger. Members of her family call her EE. After divorcing Hal Emmerich's father, her mother took Emma to England and raised her there. Danziger is her mother's maiden name, but she prefers Emmerich. After returning home to England, her mother married Robinson, a businessman. The following details are from a report filed with the NSA when she joined the agency. Just before graduating from high school, Emma injured Robinson in self-defense during an alleged assault on her person. As a result of this incident, she followed in the footsteps of her stepbrother, Hal Emmerich, and left home to enroll in Oxford. It is believed that at this particular point in her life, she was extremely angered by the fact that her brother failed to protect her. Consequently, she lost all family connections and is very resentful. She seems to believe that her brother is to blame for everything. While attending Oxford, she was noted for her success in a deciphering event sponsored by British...
But she sure sounds like Otachan's sister.
There's more. Raiden, do you recall a certain situation that's more or less become a legend among hackers? To refresh your memory, at the time, just about all of our nation's communications and information resources were concentrated at NSA in Fort Meade. In fact, NSA's basement facility operated round the clock to amass data obtained not only from public communications, but everything from satellite to wiretap operations as well. I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that whoever controlled the NSA facility could move the world. On January 24th, in the year 2000, the facility suffered a total system shutdown for a 73-hour period.
Did they ever figure out the cause?
It's believed that a small group within the government had arranged the incident with the assistance of a notorious group of crackers. The result was a full review of NSA's safety measures, which in turn led to the decision to shift the data-gathering operations to an isolated location that would be safe from physical attack as well as cyber terrorism.
And where might that be?
My security clearance couldn't get me that information, but I did find out that one of the key members of the hacker group was none other than Emma Emmerich. Although she started off as a specialist in artificial intelligence and complex logic, Emma is now regarded as a computer genius.
That would make her a prime candidate for recruitment in the intelligence community, wouldn't it? And knowing most of the intelligence agencies, I doubt fair play was a major concern in their recruiting efforts.
Your assumption's correct. The government played on her weakness, her strong hate for Hal Emmerich, the brother who left her when she was 6 years old.
She hates him that much?
When she was 6 years old, Emma and her father were involved in a pool accident. She survived, but her father drowned.
What did the police have to say about that?
The report states it was an accidental death.
Isn't that about the time that Otachan left his home and family?
Exactly. But I don't have any idea why he chose to do so.
Does Emma blame Otachan for her father's death?
I don't think so. Her hate seems to stem from the fact that she believes Otachan abandoned her. You see, although the two weren't directly related, they were said to be very close. It's rumored that sibling rivalry was what launched her career as a hacker. 4 years ago, the government leaked her the details of the Shadow Moses incident. In doing so, they were able to recruit her for the NSA. I also have little doubt that they also used the NSA hacking affair as a means to convince her to cooperate.
You think that her hate drove her to frame Snake and Otachan?
That I don't know.
Colonel, did you hear the truth about the Shadow Moses incident?
Yeah.
Snake wasn't a terrorist.
You look thrilled.
Huh? Well, yeah.
So you just believe everything that he told you then?
What did you say?
Don't trust him. He isn't in the simulation.
Simulation again. What exactly are you talking about?
Don't put your trust in him. Just carry out your duties to the best of your abilities. Do you understand, Raiden?
Colonel, why did Ocelot murder the president?
They disagreed, probably.
Exactly the same.
What?
As the Shadow Moses incident.
Don't be foolish.
Are you sure about that? Aim's death, Appearance of the ninja, the president's death, and now the virus.
You're reading too much into things.
That's right, Jack. You're tired.
Raiden, don't waste your time thinking unnecessary thoughts. Invest all your energy instead in carrying out your duties.
Colonel, did you find anything about the Patriots?
No, not yet.
I can't find data on them anywhere.
But the president is...
Jack, there is no data.
Colonel, you know something, don't you?
No, I don't know anything. I need a little more time. Whenever you crawl into a narrow space, the camera will automatically switch to intrusion view.
Not a chance.
Handguns are aimed by pushing down the weapon button. But if...
Get real.
In first-person view, you'll specifically be able to target the head.
Get real.
Emma's probably being kept in filter chamber number 2 on floor B1 of Shell 2's core.
The rumors about Big Shell being a big cover-up are all true.
Otacon?
I had Snake check everything out. Sure, there's some facilities to clean up the pollution, but they're not running at full capacity. Don't you think it's funny that even though 2 years have gone by since the incident, they haven't managed to clean up all the crude oil? Of course, the media doesn't report that kind of thing. I think they're having fresh shipments of crude oil brought in to replace the stuff they've cleaned up. The story you were told about toxic chemicals being released if the plant were blown up also seems pretty fishy. I don't think it's actually true. Information is being suppressed on a huge scale. These guys seem to think that the new Metal Gear is worth all the effort and money they're spending on it.
So I've been lied to all along.
No, I think even your CO didn't know what was going on, and that's probably what he's been telling you.
I didn't mean by the Colonel. I meant by you.
Huh? We never lied to you. We just didn't tell you everything, that's all. You know, you're a pretty interesting guy. You're just like Snake said.
What did he say?
That you're a weak, simple-minded, stubborn fool.
A weak, simple-minded...
Ah, don't worry. He didn't mean anything bad by it.
Nothing bad? Well, what could possibly be worse than that? That lying, useless, backstabbing, mincing son of a...
Raiden, I'm his friend. I know him better than anyone else. I know he's not that kind of guy.
Yeah, so what?
And, by the way, there's one more thing you should probably know about Snake.
What?
He's right here.
Next to you?
Yep.
Did he hear...
every word?
I'm just gonna get back to the mission now.
As the President mentioned, Metal Gear Ray was created as an anti-Metal Gear weapon. In the Shadow Moses incident, Ocelot returned with a disk containing data of the exercises that were held for Metal Gear Rex and the new nuclear warhead. What's more, he sold that data not only to the nuclear powers, but to other countries as well. Those nations that obtained the data have commenced their own Metal Gear research. Where does it go from here? What happens when the world is flooded with variations of Metal Gear? We'll probably be looking at an era similar to that of the nuclear arms race. That was one of the reasons we organized philanthropy. I understand that Fortune's father, Marine Commandant Scott Dolph, had the same misgivings. That's why he proceeded with the development of the anti-Metal Gear weapon, Metal Gear Ray. In fact, Ray alone can drastically redefine tactics when you consider its seafaring capacity to approach, strike, and break off from targets. I also believe that Ray was a solution for renewing interest in the Marines, whose role as a rapid response force has dwindled over the last few years. I did a quick inspection. Arsenal Gear's security system is similar to the antibiotic function of a living creature's immune system. Surveillance of the inner system is handled by periodic scans, using a number of agents with the capacity for detecting data that doesn't belong in the system. Once the agents detect any invading data, the information is passed on to an antibody production system. From there, a program referred to as an antibody agent is autonomously produced to neutralize or eliminate the invading data. Added to that, there's a solid barrier existing between GW's optic neural net, its physical and logical base, and the other general nets. Referred to as the bit-brain barrier, this wall is a filtering system for preventing the infiltration of foreign data. This security system makes it very difficult to attack the system from the outside. I'm afraid nothing can be done without sufficient preparation.
Raiden, look at the enemy you knocked out. See the stars revolving over his head? Bulletproof equipment will not protect your enemies from a grenade's blast or shrapnel.
All right.
Bulletproof equipment will...
What can I do for you, Jack? Jack,
What is it?
I've always been alone.
Huh?
I'm so lonely.
Lonely? Rose, we've always...
Not always.
What do you mean?
You've never slept beside me.
What are you talking about?
After we've been together in my room, you stay awake all night, or you head for the door.
Is this really the time to bring this up?
Why, Jack? Why?
Listen, Rose, I'm right in the middle of a mission, and
Why? Why can't you relax when you're with me?
Look, the mission,
Why don't you open up to me?
Rose, I just can't.
All I ever wanted was to share your dreams, to spend a meaningful evening with you. I just wanted to find you by my side when I woke up. Is that asking too much?
It's the night. I'm scared of the night. It's got nothing to do with you.
Scared of the night? What's that supposed to mean?
I can't relax when I'm with someone.
Jack, you wouldn't even let me in your room.
I need privacy. I just can't be bothered.
Bothered?
Wrong word. What I wanted to say was that there are certain things that I have to keep to myself.
Do you remember that time I forced my way into your room? We'd known each other for almost a year, and you blew up. It was the first time you ever raised your hand against me. I was so worried about you.
Look, I'm sorry.
It wasn't your violent nature that scared me. It was your room, your heart.
Stop it.
There wasn't anything in your room. Only a bed and a small desk. It looked like a prison cell.
Rose?
No television set. No family pictures. Not even a poster.
Rose, I only use that room for sleeping.
A lifeless room. Almost like your empty heart.
That's why I tried to keep you out.
I thought I was beginning to understand you. Until I saw that room.
Would you have been happier if I had a picture of you hanging on the wall?
That's not what I was trying to say.
Enough, Rose. We'll talk about this later. After the mission.
Right. After the mission. I understand.
Raiden, are you reading me? This is Otacon. What's your situation?
Wet and miserable. This place is flooded. The seawater that's been pumped up is pouring into the building.
I see. Listen, there's something I have to tell you about EE.
Don't worry about her. I'll get her out.
She's afraid of water.
What?
Yeah. When she was 6 years old, she almost drowned with my father in our swimming pool.
She can't swim?
Well, yes and no. We used to swim a lot together when we were kids. In fact, she swam like a fish until that day when she almost drowned.
That pretty much coincides with what the Colonel told me.
When the accident happened, I was in my room. I learned later that EE was calling me for help. She didn't doubt for a minute that I'd be there. You could see the pool from my room, but I didn't realize at the time that she needed my help.
What were you doing?
I was...
So Emma survived the ordeal.
Yeah, but my father didn't.
So you blamed yourself and left your family?
No. EE seems to believe that was the case. The fact is, I betrayed her.
And you think she can't swim because of the traumatic experience?
I haven't seen her since that day, but yes, I think so. I got a letter from Julie, her mother, after they moved back to England. In her letter, she mentioned that EE couldn't swim anymore, that she refused to even wear a bathing suit.
Damn, if she still can't swim, we're in trouble. Level B1 in the core is pretty much flooded.
Look, maybe you can help her overcome the trauma.
You want me to help her get over it?
Well, it's still gonna take some time to repair the Kamov.
Sorry, kid. Emma's rescue is up to you.
Thanks. An underwater mission. Well, this is a first. Look, I'll see what I can do.
I suggest that you drum the map of the building into your head, because you won't have time to look at it when you try to bring Emma out.
I'm counting on you, Raiden.
I covered most of the core when I had to take out the C4s. If there's anything you need to ask me, call me on the codec.
I'll do that.
Use the right stick to make high-speed turns. You need to catch your breath somewhere before your O2 gauge runs out. Keep a lookout for the surface.
There should be pockets of air somewhere, even with this level of flooding. Make sure you find one, okay?
Some light is shining down at the spots where there is air. The light probably reaches down to the floor. Keep an eye out for that light. Move in behind the enemy and push the weapon button without touching the left stick.
Not a chance.
The places where the air is trapped have been inferred from the node's map data and should appear on your radar. There's air at the light blue locations on your radar. You should be able to come up for air there. Pay attention to the radar and move on. Handguns and automatic rifles and...
Whatever.
Emma's probably being kept in filter chamber number 2 on floor B1 of Shell 2's core. Swim as far west as you can, then head north and you should reach filter chamber number 2. After you hold an enemy soldier up, you could manage to seize an item if you're lucky.
Exactly.
Jump down right onto the enemy's head from hanging to knock him out.
No doubt.
If you see a likely handhold while you're jumping down from hanging, try pressing the action button.
Exactly.
What can I do for you, Jack? Jack, about trying to break into your room.
Rose, just forget about it.
No, listen to me. I said I did it because I was worried about you, but it wasn't just that.
What?
I was suspicious. I thought there might be someone else.
Someone else?
Another woman.
Rose.
I really thought so, because sometimes you're so horribly cold.
You know I wouldn't.
I'm serious. Sometimes I feel like you're pushing me away. So I...
Did you get in?
Yeah.
Are you satisfied now? There wasn't anyone there, was there?
No. No, there was no one there. There was absolutely no one in your room. Not another woman, not me, not even you.
Rose.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to apologize, that's all. Talk to you later.
Still ticking, huh?
Unfortunately, hell had no vacancies. I thought so. Human muscles are quite eloquent. They speak out clearly what a person's next move will be. They even tell me which way a gun is going to be pointed before the trigger is pulled. But your muscles, they're different. This should be fun. Well worth the wait.
I was coming?
You've become a nuisance. I can't let you interfere with arsenal gear. The girl is just ahead. She is of no use to us now. But she served us well as the live bait for the big catch. Crazy Ivan sometimes speaks the truth.
Emma's alive?
She was some time ago, but the flooding has become quite serious. I wouldn't be surprised if she's a mermaid now.
What?
Did you really think killing the president would prevent a nuclear strike? Think again.
I didn't do it.
Arsenal is still armed with a purified hydrogen bomb.
Purified hydrogen bomb?
This is no ordinary nuclear bomb. This weapon is capable of heavy hydrogen nuclear fusion using lasers and magnetics to generate heat-insulated compression. It was a top-secret project initiated by the current president. and Solidus has no idea of its existence. The clean thermonuclear bomb is at an experimental stage and is handled differently. Specifically, it becomes launch-capable when Arsenal is activated. A nuclear threat still exists. 6 months ago, we lost everything we believed in. We were abandoned to take the fall in their cover-up. We were labeled as killers, responsible for the mass murder of civilians as well as our own allies. And the public believed every word, turning a deaf ear to whatever we had to say to the contrary. Our only goal is to wipe them from the face of the earth and destroy this world of deceit they have created along with them.
You're insane.
Insane? We might be the only ones telling the truth.
Final check for activating Arsenal has been completed. All Arsenal personnel report to your stations.
Well, it sounds like Arsenal's ready to go into operation.
Damn it!
You're still hoping that the girl can install that virus you're carrying around, aren't you?
You know?
It's a shame you're not going to be around long enough to hand her the program. That isn't seawater, you know. It's a byproduct of the microbes contained in the pool. Buoyancy is practically non-existent thanks to the high oxygen content. Once you fall in, you don't come up. Take a good look at your grave. Show me what you've got.
Vamp seems to be anticipating the trajectory of your shots from the minute movements of your muscles. There's no such thing as a perfect system, though. There must be a way to throw him off and land a shot. Remember what Vamp said. That life reaction tank is a death trap. Make sure you don't fall in there accidentally. You can shoot down the knives Vamp throws. Aim at them in first-person view. You can shoot down the knives Vamp throws. Aim at them in first-person view. Right. Don't use the target locking function. He'll be able to read your trajectory. Aim from first-person view instead, and fire off a barrage with the automatic if necessary. Right. Don't use the target locking function.
It looks like he's anticipating the incoming bullet's trajectory from the movement of your muscles. Relax, though. He doesn't have you all figured out. Right. Don't use the target locking function. Vamp will anticipate your trajectory if you do, and you'll never manage to land a shot. Be careful, Raiden. You're a dead man if you fall into the life reaction tank.
That's right. The life reaction tank cleanses polluted water with microorganisms. These organisms are activated by pumping them with large volumes of oxygen. As a result, the water's specific gravity is extremely light, making it impossible to remain afloat. Once you fall in, you'll never come up.
Be careful, Raiden. You're a dead man if you fall into the life reaction tank. Be careful, Raiden. You're a dead man if you fall into the life reaction tank.
Need to save? I'll get on it right away. You have to come back in one piece.
my body.
Colonel, they've apparently completed the final check procedure for arsenal gear.
Find Emma on the double. You've got to get her to install the virus program that the President gave you. When you find her, take her to the computer room on level B2 in the core of Shell 1.
Snake, did you catch all that? I didn't make it on time. Arsenal's going active.
Yeah, I heard. The hostage rescue's gonna have to wait.
I'm going after Emma.
We'll secure the computer room. Looks like we can't install the virus program without Emma.
Can't your partner do it?
I would if I could, but the security for this system is no joke. I need more time.
That's why we need her.
Understood. I'll make sure you have your family reunion. What's up?
A lot of years have passed between EE and me.
Then you should see her, right?
I don't have the right to see her.
We can talk about this later. Raiden, I think you'd better get moving. Emma's in the locker room to the north, right?
I'm on it.
Raiden, go and find Emma. She should be in the locker room to the north of your area.
You could ask Snake for more details if you need them.
Raiden, Emma is in the core of Shell 2, somewhere in the northwest sector of level B1. Arsenal gear will go online soon. Rescue Emma ASAP. Even the enemies will have a harder time spotting you in the dark. The chance of being unnoticed is higher if you stay in dark.
Not a chance.
You can use weapons even while crawling. This is different from VR training, so you...
Whatever.
You can drag an enemy personnel's body. This is how to do it. First,
Not a chance.
Raiden, we don't have much time left. Emma should be to the north of filter chamber number 2, where you fought with Vamp.
Raiden, you have to hurry. EE's life is in your hands.
Vamp mentioned a purified hydrogen bomb. Any idea what it is?
A purified hydrogen bomb is a nuclear weapon that doesn't use a nuclear explosion to trigger a nuclear fusion reaction. There are two theories for triggering a purified hydrogen bomb. Of the two, our nation focused its research efforts on the laser inertial compression theory. Theoretically, it's the same as laser nuclear fusion. By solidifying deuterium and tritium at an extremely low temperature to create fuel pellets and bombarding these pellets with a high-output laser, the surface of the pellets evaporate. This creates a reaction that results in the inward compression of the pellets. The center portion of a pellet reaches the necessary extreme temperature and pressure conditions for confining nuclear fusion, and thereby creating a fusion reaction. I understand that research in this area continued into the last century, but I'd heard they hit a wall when they couldn't come up with a miniature laser capable of the necessary ultra-high output. From what you tell me, I guess I'll have to assume they overcame that problem.
The less you manipulate a remote-controlled missile, the faster it'll travel. Use this, and you'll be able to deliver your remote-controlled missile over a greater distance.
That's right.
Think about what the ideal spot to aim for is, depending on time and circumstances.
That's right.
Jump down right onto the enemy's head from hanging to knock him out.
That's exactly it.
Jack, do you need to save? Talk to you soon, Jack.
Raiden, we don't have much time left. I see you're wearing body armor. That's a great way to minimize damage. Your body armor is interwoven with a special fiber made from high-performance polymer materials. The special fiber tangles around a bullet to cushion and spread out the impact to keep damage at a minimum. Bear in mind that the armor just reduces damage. It doesn't eliminate it.
Are you all right?
Who are you?
Raiden, I'm getting you out of here.
Get me out? You're lying. Where are you taking me this time?
What are you talking about? I'm here to help. Here, I'll prove it. Do you have nanos?
What?
Well, do you?
I do. Everybody on this project has them.
Okay, good. Let's try. Can you hear me now?
Nanocommunication?
That's right. I have nanomachines too.
Then you're not one of them.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
And you came to rescue me?
Actually, I need your help to stop Arsenal. I understand you're the only one who might be able to do it.
And who told you that?
The President.
Really?
I need you to come with me to Shell 1. Your brother's waiting for you there.
My brother?
Come on! We have to get moving. This place will be flooded soon. Better move!
I can't swim. Leave me.
You can swim. You used to love it.
How do you know?
Your brother told me.
He's really here?
That's right. He's here to rescue you.
I don't believe you. He would never come for me.
And I'm telling you he's here, waiting for us at Shell 1.
No! He left me, my mother, when we needed him the most. When my father died, all he could think about was himself.
Emma, we can go over all that later, but first we have to get out of here.
No! I hate water! It's hopeless! I can't swim! I can't swim!
You can do it!
I can't!
Come on, deep down inside, you know you can swim.
I can't keep my eyes open in the water. Endless blue. The water, it wants me. It won't let me go.
All right, then close your eyes. I'll guide you.
I was injected with something. My legs. I have trouble moving them.
Listen, Emma, just hold your breath. I'll do the rest. First, we'll head to filter chamber 2. Then we'll take a break.
And all I have to do is hold my breath.
That's right.
How long?
Just a little while.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. That's how I got here.
I don't think I can do it. I'm not good at holding my breath.
Look, Emma, I have an idea. Put your ear against my chest and listen to my heartbeat.
Your heartbeat?
Count the beats. Don't think about anything else. When you reach 100, open your eyes. By that time, we'll be on the other side. Give me a signal if you think you're running out of breath.
What will you do then?
I'll swim faster. Hang on tight. Okay, let's go.
I'm closing my eyes.
Take some deep breaths. 1, 2, 3.
Wait!
What is it?
Let me take off my glasses.
You know, you should wear contacts.
There's nothing wrong with my eyes. I wear them for show.
Trying to be different from the other girls?
No, it's not like that. I like glasses. And there's this guy I liked who used to wear them.
Your first boyfriend?
No. Somebody more important. Anyway, they bring me luck.
I see. Okay, let's go.
Raiden, take Emma to the computer room on B2 of Shell 1's core. She can launch the virus that you received from the President. It's the only way to stop Arsenal Gear. The flooding is getting worse. Go back to filter chamber number 2 where Vamp was, before the area is completely underwater. Move! When you're underwater with Emma, her O2 gauge will be displayed below your own gauge. Be careful. Her O2 gauge has lower reserve than yours.
I guess we won't have any time to waste then.
Keep an eye on Emma's O2 gauge. Take the shortest possible way to get through the flooded area. You will be able to move left and... A word of warning, weapons become useless when you're in water, though I doubt you'll be encountering any enemies underwater. When you start to feel the lack of air, hit the action button repeatedly. This will let you ration your air supply better and slow the decline of your O2 gauge. Keep an eye on Emma's O2 gauge. Take the shortest possible way to get through the flooded area. Right. That skull suit of yours is designed to minimize drag when you're underwater. Try feeling the suit's skin.
Sort of sandpapery.
What you're feeling is a series of microscopic grooves. This water-repelling scale structure cancels out the force of the currents. The suit cuts drag by a full 10%. You'll be swimming like a fish. The technology is extrapolated from the structure of shark skin. The concavity of the skin surface is designed to cut down on air drag on dry land as well. Same idea as the surface of golf balls, but improved upon.
Sounds good. I think I'm ready for the Olympics.
Keep an eye on how long a shadow you're casting. Depending on the lighting situation, the enemy could discover your presence because of that one small detail. Raiden, you can climb onto anything. To select a weapon, if you have a handgun or
Raiden, take Emma and go to strut L. There's a ladder down onto the oil fence on the ocean surface from that strut. If you hold down the L1 button, you can move while holding your gun. Should be an effective move when you need to break through some enemies. Don't forget it, kid. The less you manipulate a remote-controlled missile, the faster it'll travel.
No doubt.
The consumption of the O2 gauge will also be slower with a full life gauge.
Emma, you okay?
Yeah, sort of. Are we there yet? I'm scared. I don't want to do this.
Jack, do you need to save? Talk to you soon, Jack.
You did good.
I concentrated on your heartbeat. It reminded me of when I was a kid. I remember my brother giving me a piggyback ride. I was sleeping with my ear against his back. I could hear his heartbeat.
Sounds like you were close.
We were, back then. We were stepchildren in our parents' second marriages. Wherever my brother went, I used to tag along. My brother didn't have any close friends, so he used to take care of me. We both wanted to be loved so much. So much that we used to pretend.
Pretend?
Yeah, we used to play house. My brother was the husband and I was the wife. But it was always just make-believe. We were only kids. You know what I mean.
I never had a family, but I think I know what you mean.
Raiden, what's your status?
Colonel, I've got Emma Emmerich here. We've managed to avoid drowning.
Good job. Get her over to Shell 1 as soon as you can.
That's going to be hard with the connecting bridge on the upper level destroyed.
Didn't Olga say something about taking the oil fence at the bottom of Strut L?
Yeah, I remember that.
You should be able to go down by way of Strut L. Try and get over there.
What about Emma? She's been injected with something and she can't walk without any help.
Take her with you. Free your hands of any equipment and hold down the action button to give her a hand. To release your grip on her, take your finger off the action button. Emma can sit and wait until you help her back up. And be careful. You won't be able to use any weapons while you're leading her. Now head for Strut L.
We're on our way.
Raiden, we've infiltrated the computer room. What's your situation?
Emma's safe. We're heading your way.
Good job.
Shell 1's deserted. Looks like everybody's aboard Arsenal.
I had a look at the system, but there's nothing I can do. EE's our only hope.
Right. I'll put her on then.
Huh? EE? What? How?
I'll use my Kodak as a relay. Here she is.
Hal?
EE, is that you?
Hal.
EE. Why are you involved with Metal Gear?
Huh?
You knew our family's dark history and still got involved? What's wrong with you?
I should have known.
Answer me. Why are you repeating the same mistake?
I wanted to hurt you. I wanted to see you suffer.
EE?
You abandoned me.
No, that's not what happened.
All right, that's enough.
Who are you?
I'm a friend of Otacon's, Emma.
Otacon?
Enough with the sibling rivalry.
That's not what this is.
We haven't got time for this. Raiden, get her over here right now.
I...
Gotcha, Snake. I'll head over there with Emma.
Most of the enemy's aboard Arsenal, but I suggest you be careful. Make sure Emma gets here in one piece.
Raiden, take care of my sister.
Don't worry. I'll get her there.
Press down and hold the action button near Emma to hold her hand. Start moving with the button pressed down and you can lead her by the hand. Push the action button again to let go. You won't be able to take her hand when you're holding a weapon. Keep that in mind. Raiden, how's Emma doing?
She's pretty shaky on her feet. Whatever Ocelot drugged her with, it's still having an effect on her.
Poor thing. Look after her, okay?
I'll try.
She can't even walk by herself because of the drugs in her system. See how she has to sit down when you let go of her hand? If you have to release her hand, make sure she's somewhere safe. Don't let her go in sight of the enemy. If Emma loses consciousness, drag her just like you drag the enemy's body around.
Unconscious, huh?
Jack, what's up with you?
Oh, nothing.
Don't leave Emma in an unsafe spot when she's unconscious. Drag her if you have to, but get her to safety. Do you see Emma's life gauge underneath your own? If Emma's life gauge were to run out, I don't need to explain that, I think. Keep her safe and get her to strut L. Emma's life gauge will recover slowly while she's sitting down resting. If her life gauge is starting to run low, you should let go of her hand so she can rest. You will not be able to hold any weapons as long as you're leading Emma by the hand. You have no choice but to let go of her when engaging the enemy. Hide Emma in a safe spot as soon as you see hostile personnel in the vicinity. After you eliminate the danger, pick her up and proceed on course. Raiden, go with Emma to strut L. If you exit the Shell 2 core and head south on the KL connecting bridge, you'll get to strut L. There's no time. Move it! Intrusion view does not guarantee your... If you have the grenade support... In first-person view.
Get real.
Raiden, take Emma and go to strut L. There's a ladder down onto the oil fence on the ocean surface from that strut.
Okay, Raiden, let me talk to Emma.
Sure, one condition, no arguing.
No problem, put her on. EE, is that you?
Yes? What do you want?
Why did you get involved in weapons development? A lot of people will get hurt. Even more will die. I'm talking about the destruction of homes and cities, radioactive contamination for years to come. You, of all people, should know the horror of nuclear weapons. You know about our family's dark history. Why, EE, why?
You left me. You made my life a living hell.
I didn't have a choice.
Don't lie to me. The pool, you could never look me in the eye after the accident. You took the easy way out so you wouldn't have to face me. That way you could avoid responsibility every day. You ran. You ran away so you wouldn't have to face the pain.
No, that's not why I left.
You left me and took the easy way out.
That's not true. I left the house because...
You're a criminal, just like me.
A criminal?
I know what you did. You manipulated our account on the network.
But...
Look at what you're doing now. You're nothing but a cracker.
No, I'm just applying my knowledge for the cause.
The cause? What cause? Justice?
For peace, EE. I'm not like Snake. I can't carry a gun and face the enemy. That's why I do what I do best.
Oh, right. Nice justification, Hal. Forget about being a criminal. You'd make a great lawyer.
All right already. That's enough. What's up, Raiden?
Out of my way. Let me talk.
You want to talk to Otacon?
Yes.
I'll put him on.
Yeah? What is it?
Up to now, scientists have continued to be active participants in war. What's your opinion?
There's no doubt that war has been an ideal event that fuels the progress of science. But therein lies the trap. We scientists must establish some form of work ethic. It's a tragedy that both the government and the military act as sponsors to modern science.
What are you talking about? The atom and hydrogen bombs were born from laboratories owned and operated by universities and private enterprises. Los Alamos and the Lawrence Livermore labs were run by universities. There's nothing strange about that.
Weapons development and universities. This may come as a surprise, but science requires that information be exchanged freely.
You're referring to the will of Professor Oppenheimer, aren't you?
For me, science and weapons always existed at different levels. I never thought that my research results would bring about misfortune to others. That was until the Shadow Moses incident.
I have no regrets.
That's where you're wrong. We scientists know the dangers of a nuclear threat. It's up to us to protect the people. We can't allow it to be exploited by nations or their politics. Man and nuclear weapons cannot coexist. Mere mortals were never meant to handle nuclear fusion.
Science defines me. My government respects me. Can you tell me what's wrong with that? Can you?
Okay, that's enough. Raiden, look at the enemy you knocked out. See the stars revolving over his head? When the stars disappear, the enemy will regain consciousness. Keep an eye on the spot above their heads. The consumption of the O2 gauge will also be slower with a full life gauge. Make good use of those rations. Think about what the ideal spot to aim for is, depending on time and circumstances. Go for the central nervous system if you absolutely have to take someone out. If all you want to do is immobilize them, temporarily incapacitate their mobility. If you want to make them bleed, go after their circulatory system. And if radio silence is your only objective, destroy their radios. Inflict only the damage that is the most effective for a given situation. Be smart. That's the key to survival.
How are you, Emma?
Okay, I think.
How are you, Emma?
Okay, I think.
You okay?
Yeah, sort of.
What can I do for you, Jack? Well, Jack, it sounds like you and Miss Emma are getting along just fine.
Rose?
I've been monitoring your every move in conversation. I can't say it's been fun.
Give me a break. I'm only trying to keep her spirits up.
Is that right?
Absolutely. My mission is to get her to the computer room.
That's all?
Yeah.
You're lying. You're attracted to her, aren't you?
I'll admit she's cute.
Cuter than me?
Rose, you're beautiful. You know how I feel about you.
Have you remembered yet?
You mean April 30th?
Yes.
It's your birthday, isn't it?
Wrong. You're not even warm.
What is it then?
Forget it. It's nothing. Maybe I'm just a little jealous.
Rose.
You'd better get moving. Good luck.
Emma, Snake and Hal are waiting for us in Shell 1's computer room. I've got this disk that the President gave me. This disk is supposed to contain a virus that can corrupt Arsenal Gear's operating system. We need you to...
This is my program.
What?
Why did the President give it to you?
Huh?
Did something happen to the President?
President. He's dead.
What?
You actually wrote this virus?
It's not really a virus. It's more like a worm cluster. It's actually a delayed effect autonomous program that's designed to invade GW's cerebrum and render its nerve connections useless.
You know what GW is?
Of course. I created it.
Huh?
You look surprised.
Well...
Cat got your tongue?
I'm sorry, How about the Patriots? Ever heard of them?
Yes, but I only know what I've been told.
Can you tell me what you know?
Sure, but it's hard to put into words.
Right. Are you reading me, Emma?
Yes, loud and clear.
The President said that Arsenal Gear was the Patriots' key to supremacy.
That's as good a description as any.
What exactly is it?
It's a massive data processing system capable of controlling information on a global scale.
A data processing system?
That's right. The system's a social device for maintaining the Patriots' control.
You've lost me.
Well, in this day and age, information emerges from every direction and is freely distributed. A variety of information gathered by servers employing the latest in high-speed communication networks and P2P technology is rapidly circulated to individuals. In fact, the speed of this circulation process is accelerating on an almost daily basis. The Patriots seem to be afraid of this development. Apparently, they believe that their role will shift from dominant to dominated.
Huh?
Let me give you an example. You're aware of Solid Snake's anti-Metal Gear activities, aren't you?
Yeah, I know a little about it.
Well, that's just a small sample of uncontrolled information. I can guarantee you the Patriots did not want Solid Snake's name publicized. Now, look at it like this. Political scandal, corporate corruption, up until now, the Patriots have managed to keep a lid on these and other self-serving events. But with their existing data processing system, they're no longer able to effectively control the flow of information generated at the individual level. With the newly created system, they can fully regulate digital information. High-level information can be categorized in stages, given clearance levels, and deleted as necessary, never to be seen by the public. By deleting such information, the Patriots can shape the course of history as they see fit.
Somebody's bound to catch on.
No, the memory capacity, not to mention the lifespan of the average individual, is extremely limited. On the other hand, digital information lasts virtually forever. It doesn't deteriorate.
So?
The alphabet, 26 letters, right? It could have been 30 letters. What if the 4 deleted letters were controlled by a program?
Impossible.
It's not. In fact, something similar is already underway. Do you know how many genes exist in an individual?
About 30 to 40,000?
Right, that's what was announced at the turn of the century, but there's actually 100,000 according to the original theory advanced by the scientific community. Information regarding the remaining 60,000 was suppressed by the Patriots.
No.
Why? How would you know? Do you know what a gene looks like? Did you count them yourself?
There are research organizations.
Of course, and their reports have already been subtly altered. They're even beginning to believe the doctored reports. GW is a system that allows the Patriots to decide what will be recorded in tomorrow's history.
So what we're talking about is one huge censorship system for deleting information which might be inconvenient to the Patriots.
Exactly. The actual physical core for handling the task, GW, is installed in Arsenal. It's the only system in the world with an optic neural AI that has a parallel processing capacity of 980 trillion Hammets.
I suppose that being a specialist in neural AI and complex logic played a significant role in your association with the Metal Gear project.
That's not the only reason.
What do you mean? I guess there are plenty of other reasons.
Yes, there are.
I understand.
Do you?
So Arsenal Gear was actually designed to protect the GW system, wasn't it?
Yes. It's armed with everything, including nuclear weapons, and is fully equipped with cyber-terrorist countermeasures. Physically and logically, it's the ultimate fortress for housing GW.
But is the AI actually capable of controlling everything?
No. GW is only the system's core. It's only for deciding what data is stored or deleted. The actual subsystem for executing the task exists within our social structure.
What?
Do you remember the panic that gripped the computer industry prior to the end of the century?
You mean the Y2K problem?
That's right. If you recall, our government supplied the world with a countermeasure program, using the internet at full capacity. The program was distributed to every governmental organization, every key facility throughout the world. In addition, the same program was included in an OS application for distribution among the public.
Let me guess. The Y2K countermeasure contained a program designed by the Patriots.
Yes, and everything supplied from that day onward contains the same program.
Impossible.
Do you know how a computer operates? Do you really know the basic principles on how data is exchanged? Nobody's aware of it, but there's a subsystem in place, and it's about to be activated.
Is that why Solidus wants to burn out every electrical circuit in Manhattan with a nuclear blast?
Probably, but the overall system isn't actually complete.
What?
It still lacks the necessary factors for judging situations. I heard they were planning a major experiment in the next few days to provide complex data for GW to study. And suddenly all this happens.
Emma, it's not your fault. If it wasn't for the terrorists...
Yeah, you're right. Well, I think that's about all I know.
Right. Thanks. I think we'd better head for the computer room.
My bird in the computer room. Is he safe?
That noisy, overgrown parakeet?
Excuse me, he's a parrot. And he's my best friend. My only friend.
Well, the bird's okay.
Good. Did you know that in the old days, miners used to take a canary into the mine shafts to detect toxic gas?
That's what he's for?
No. I really needed someone to talk to.
Right. I think we'd better get moving. We've got a little longer to cover than the last time.
I'll give it my best.
Whatever you do, don't open your eyes.
Why not?
A dead body, not a pretty sight.
Oh.
Once we get past it, it'll be too dark to see anything. What are those sticks in your head?
These? They're lacquered chopsticks. They hold your hair in place. Did you know that they're pretty popular in Europe and South America?
Can't say that I do. You're not only cute, but smart too.
Oh, I'm much more than cute.
Okay, let's go.
When you're on the surface, keep an eye on Emma's O2. Push the crawl button.
Raiden, take Emma and go to strut L.
Snake.
Let me talk to him.
Oh, yeah.
Otacon's busy right now. You'll have to settle for me.
What? Okay.
Right. Now what do you want?
Hal's wrong. Science doesn't exist to benefit the world.
Then what is it for?
Science is for the individual. For me, it's a way to realize my dreams.
It sounds pretty greedy.
You can't realize your dreams without greed.
And what's your dream?
Take revenge on Hal. To beat him in his own game.
Revenge?
I am gonna make him regret the day he left me. I am gonna make him realize he was wrong.
Of all the idiotic.
I think that's enough.
Idiotic? It's my goal, my reason for being alive. Hal is wrong. He's only being used by his country. He's pitiful. Even you guys are using him. Me? I'm using science to achieve my own dream.
Real bright, lady. That's exactly the line that scientists are never meant to cross.
Right. I sold my soul for revenge. I will never forgive him.
I'll pretend this conversation never happened.
No, you tell my brother exactly what I said. You...
Emma!
What?
You're speaking your mind, not your heart. Just leave it at that.
Okay.
Jump down right onto the enemy's head from hanging to knock him out. Look down in first-person view to aim well. While running, you can execute a roll by pressing the crawl button. For short distances, you can jump, and if you bump into an enemy just right, you can send the enemy flying. You can also jump over any floorboards that creak every time you take a step. After you hold an enemy soldier up, you could manage to seize an item if you're lucky. There are some items you can only get from a hold-up. Give it a try.
How are you, Emma?
Okay, I think.
Jack, do you need to save? Jack, how far do you think the Patriots' digital control extends?
I don't really know, but it probably influences a lot of what goes on in our everyday lives.
Even mundane things like which movies and songs become a hit and what kind of clothes we wear?
I think taste would be the easiest thing to manipulate. I mean, think about the kinds of film and bands everyone wants to go to see. It's whatever's at the top of the charts.
And if the charts are made up...
Exactly.
But you can't really control individual taste. It's too closely tied to personality.
I don't know about that. Trends have always been about following the leader.
Not necessarily.
The age of direct personal interaction is over. So is the idea of word-of-mouth communication. Rose, you have any friends you've met online?
Huh? Yeah, I do.
How many?
Well, if you count only the ones I talk to a lot, I'd say about 20.
How many of those have you actually met?
1 or 2 tops.
Uh-huh. That's how it is for everyone, I guess. And even if your online buddies had fake identities and were circulating false information, you'd have no way of knowing.
Fake identities?
Right. And there'd be no way for you to know for sure.
Well, what about people who do meet face-to-face then? Like us.
Us?
Have you ever really shown me the real you?
I wouldn't even know the real me myself.
But you're being honest with yourself now. Well, that's how I see it.
Well, how am I being honest?
I've never seen you show so much feeling. Fear, anger, even a kind of giddiness. It may seem a strange thing to say, but you're living out loud for the first time that I've seen.
I'm just trying to get the job done. This is war, you know.
I do know that. I'm just saying you're different from your usual restrained self.
What about you then?
I always want to be open with you as much as I can.
Emma's terrified of the sea lice. She won't move.
I sympathize. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near those things either.
But we can't exactly sit here. Arsenal gear's about to go online.
Raiden, you'll have to get through there even if it means forcing her to move. I know it seems cruel.
Look at all these bugs. The seawater is polluted with crude oil, and yet they can still survive.
It's an altered bug that can resolve crude oil.
Altered?
Yes, through genetic engineering. It was created in the lab to combat frequent oil spills. It doesn't exist naturally. The bug is genetically altered with DNA from a bacteria called Pseudomonas, which can decompose crude oil. It has an enzyme in its body that can break up oil, and was modified so it instinctively consumes any crude oil that it absorbs. One of the reasons the big shell has little oil pollution is because of this bug. It also helps in reducing costs and the number of spill maintenance workers. It's a form of bioremediation. It's for the most part innocuous, so no need to be worried. Those bugs have ravenous appetites. Be careful that they don't end up eating your rations. Shake your equipment to protect the items from sea lice. Keep an eye on Emma's O2 gauge. Take the shortest possible way to get through the flooded area. Keep an eye on Emma's O2.
Raiden, take Emma and go to strut L. After you take someone out,
Freeze!
Help! Enemy sighted. Requesting backup unit. What's going on?
Freeze!
Enemy sighted. Requesting backup unit.
The situation is normal.
Freeze!
All clear.
Damn it!
What's wrong?
This door is security level 5. I don't have card 5. Damn.
Giving up already? Ta-da!
What the?
Are you impressed?
You should have told me you had it.
Well, the truth is, I just remembered it myself.
there somebody there? Is there somebody there?
What's going on? Respond. What's going on? Respond. Carry out an investigation immediately.
Encounter the enemy requesting backup.
Return to your positions. Tighten security. Understood. All units exercise extreme caution. Return to your
I have a question for you.
What is it?
How do you feel about heights?
I can't say I like heights. The water's higher on my phobia list. Why?
Well, we have to go down a ladder.
How far down?
Just a little bit.
Why do I feel like we've had this conversation before? How little is little?
About 130 feet.
Huh.
Think you can do it?
Would you take no for an answer?
How are your legs?
Better. The numbness is gone. I can climb down on my own.
Okay, follow me.
Sunset. It's beautiful.
If we don't hurry, it'll be the last we see. Enemy soldiers, gun ciphers. I don't think we're gonna be able to slip past all that. Looks like it can barely support one person. How much do you weigh, Emma?
Are you gonna ask me how old I am next?
If you go alone, I think you can make it across. This is Raiden. Do you read me?
Yeah, what's up?
We've made it to the lower part of Strut L. We'll have to cross the water from here.
Can Emma walk?
Yeah, she's okay. The pontoon bridge doesn't look too sturdy. Emma's gonna have to cross it alone.
Right. The oil fence.
There are ciphers and several guards.
Raiden, you're carrying a PSG-1, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's time to play sniper.
Not bad. This spot gives me a good view of the targets.
You're going to have to cover Emma until she crosses to strut E. I'll get there and provide some support of my own.
Thanks.
Think you can handle it?
Yeah, I know the drill. I faced a similar situation in advanced mode level 4 VR training with the PSG-1.
VR? Guess it's better than nothing. Make sure you don't hit Emma. Right now, with Arsenal's boarding in progress, security should be at a minimum. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Given the situation, they've probably got claymores in place to make up for the security shortage. Make sure you use your thermal goggles.
Right.
Okay, I'm heading for strut E.
Emma, are you reading me?
Loud and clear.
I'm gonna clear a path for you from here.
How?
Sniper fire.
You're kidding.
Trust me.
What if I fall into the sea? I can't swim.
You were doing pretty good a few minutes ago.
Okay.
Think you can do it?
Would you take no for an answer?
No. All right, get going. You'll be fine.
Stay out and give her cover until she makes it safely across the oil fence. Use the PSG-1 to snipe out anyone who tries to interfere with her progress. Raiden, there's a problem. They're invisible to the naked eye, but there are claymore mines set on the oil fence. The claymores will become visible with thermal goggles on. Snipe them out and protect Emma. Don't forget to pick up more ammunition for the PSG-1 when you run out. They should be close by. Hand tremors are unavoidable when sniping. It can, however, be kept to a minimum by taking the prone position. Go into a crawl and select the PSG-1. Pentazamine can temporarily steady the hand. It's something to consider when you need to do some precise shooting. Emma is still heavily drugged. She doesn't seem to have regained complete control of her body yet, and her judgment is not what it should be. She runs the risk of walking blindly into dangerous situations. Whenever you want Emma to pause, fire at the ground near her feet to signal her. That should make her stop. Take the opportunity to eliminate whatever poses a threat to her. If you don't want to kill, use a sniper rifle that can fire tranquilizer rounds. Your PSG-1T fits the bill. It works just like the regular PSG-1, so consider it an option. The PSG-1T only fires tranquilizer rounds, so remember, it won't shoot down a gun cipher. I know you've already heard this, but don't shoot Emma. Don't forget to pick up more.
Snake, are you close?
Keep it together. We're almost there. Just hang on until then.
What's up, Jack? Talk to you soon, Jack.
Everything's okay here.